Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Gurpreet K with GCAM Coaching. It's been a long time. Feels like a long time since I've done a live on job search. So today I decided to come on to talk about, I've done a couple of complimentary free sessions yesterday and on Monday as well. And with individuals who hopped on, got benefit of speaking with me, showing their resume, showing their LinkedIn, and just picking my brain for job search. So I decided to come on today because one of the things I've realized is that a lot of people are struggling in their job search because they're using traditional job search methods such as having a resume and then applying to jobs. Unfortunately, it's not enough just to have a resume and just reply to jobs. Those days are gone, and if you're still using that method, then that's why you're still struggling in your job search. So today I'm going to talk about how to create a job search strategy that's going to land your job interviews like this. Fast, fast, fast. And before I do that, I want you to introduce yourself. Let me know where you're tuning in. So first things first, I want you to introduce yourself. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I know there's a little bit delay from StreamYard onto LinkedIn, so I will take a few seconds and wait until see who's tuned in, who is here with me, and where are you tuning in from? So let's see. Okay, 22 people with me. But only one person is introducing themselves. 23 now. So there are about 22, 23 people on this segment live with me. Don't be shy. One of the ways a lot of people are failing is that they're showing up, but they're staying mute. So unmute. Talk, guys, talk. Introduce yourself. Now, this is the best platform to stay mute on, like LinkedIn. Don't stay mute. If you're watching this from LinkedIn, then I highly recommend don't stay mute. Drop comments in the comment section. I want you to take an opportunity right this moment. I have a huge network. I have a huge follower base. So you want to take advantage of writing comments on my segment because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who can get discovered by who, right? And that's the best reason why you should never stay mute on LinkedIn. You should never stay mute on any LinkedIn lives that you join. You want to engage and engage. Introduce yourself. Tell me where you're tuning in from. What are you looking for? What next job opportunity are you ready to dive into? So introduce yourself. There are over 20 people that are tuned into this segment, 22 people, and I want all 22 people to introduce themselves below in the comment section. Don't be shy, okay? So let's see who's here. Kishore, welcome Kishore. You are from Delhi. Nice. Hanish from Mississauga. Omar from Toronto. Hershey, Hagerby, Arushi, and I reside in Whitby. That's Canada. Leslie from the Bay. Vancouver in the house. Never been to Vancouver. Would love to go to Vancouver. Mississauga, Woodbridge. I used to live in Woodbridge. I got my dream job only because of you. Thanks a lot. A well-known company hired me as a software engineer. Thanks a lot. Oh, wow. Look at this. So, Ashad, congratulations so much. I am so happy for you. I'm so happy that you land your dream job. I am so grateful that I was able to help you through this journey of your job search and land that job. So this what's happened when you tune in, when you show up, you listen and you implement and you take the advice and you also reach out if you need the help. So you are welcome, Ashad, and I am so happy for you. Congratulations, Ashad. Gurpreet, I'm from Hyderabad, India. Mehek is from Toronto. Courtsy, I don't know where that is. Pittsburgh, LinkedIn user, Chicago, but moving to Toronto in 2 months. Wow, cool. Okay, so also let me know in the comments, what have you been struggling? Are you looking for a job? What job are you looking for? And what has been a challenge for you in your job search? So if you ever tune into my lives, or if you ever attended any of my segments or my workshops, masterclasses, or courses, or if you've participated in my bootcamp program, you know that I like to make my segments interactive, and I like engaging with the audience. I like the audience to engage with me. That's how we can learn and grow, and it's just makes it more interactive and fun to learn. So if you are tuned in, I just want everyone to take a moment to let me know what job you're looking for, what seems to be the biggest struggle in your job search. What is some of the obstacles? You know, are you applying to jobs? What method are you using? So let me know in the comment section on what is it that you seem to be struggling when it comes to finding a job or landing that dream job. Today's segment is all about job searching and creating a winning job search strategy. Now, I want you to grab a pen and paper or open Word or notes, however you take notes. I want you to take notes, and I don't want anyone to lose out on this opportunity today to create a job search strategy, a winning job search strategy, because it's all about creating the right strategy to get the right outcome and results, right? Strategy is only as good as if it works. You can create a strategy. I don't consider applying to jobs online to be a strategy. How you do it is the strategy part. So to be successful in your job search, you have to have a strategy, and simply having a resume and applying to jobs is just not cutting it anymore. And I call that traditional job searching. In order to succeed in today's modern day and age, you have to have a modern job search strategy. Not getting even single job. I'm looking for a job. Okay, so you're not getting any single job. Joining from, well, okay. Nice to meet you, Henry. So let me know what are you currently struggling with. In the meantime, I'm gonna go over. I'm also gonna do a Q&A at the end of the segment, if I have time, and then I'll be happy to answer anyone's questions. So I'm going to get right into today's segment, and it's all about creating a winning job search strategy. I'm going to go over the elements that need to be in your job search strategy step by step. I covered this last night on Zoom, whoever tuned in and joined the Zoom session. So I thought I would do a live on the same thing about the job search strategy that I covered yesterday. Now, when we talk about job search strategy, actually, how many people know what I'm talking about when I say job search strategy? Let me know in the comment section if you know what a job search strategy is. So let's ask questions. How many people actually know what is a job search strategy? What does that mean? When someone asks you, do you have a job search strategy? Do you know what are they asking you? So let me know in the comment sections. Okay, so job search strategy is how are you going to get the desired outcome and result that you're looking for. So if you are looking for a job, how are you going to land that job is the how piece, right? The steps you're going to take. You got to have a strategy. You can't simply just say, I'm going to have a resume and I'm going to apply to every job. So speaking of applying to jobs, yesterday I was speaking to an individual. I have it written down here. Okay, so I was speaking to an individual yesterday on Zoom, and he wanted me to review his resume. And if you ever get me to review your resume, the first question I always ask you is, how many jobs have you applied using this resume, and how many interviews you have landed? Because numbers and data don't lie, right? Numbers won't lie. So yesterday I was speaking to an individual whose resume I was viewing, and I asked him how many jobs has he applied. He told me about 150 to 200 jobs. Again, what time frame? He said about a month. So in 1 month, he has applied to almost 200 jobs. So the next question I asked him was, well, okay, let's go with 200. Out of the 200 jobs you applied to, how many interviews did you land? He told me 5. And I go, so what does that tell you? He goes, I'm landing about, out of every 30 job I'm applying to, I forgot what his answer was. Out of every 30 job I'm applying to, I'm landing about, forgot what the percentage he said. I go, no. How does that, no. That's what that tells you, that you've applied to 200 jobs, but you've only landed 5 calls in the month. In the 1 month, you've applied to 200 jobs, and you've only gotten 5 interviews. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to now sit there and ask yourself, well, how many jobs have I applied to using my resume? How many interviews did I land? How many calls? I call them calls, like the initial interview call. Now, I want you to write these numbers down, because numbers don't lie. And the thing is, if you're applying to jobs and you're not getting interviewed, the problem is very simple: your resume. You're using your resume to apply to job. You're using your resume to apply to jobs, but if that resume is not converting into interview calls, then the problem is that piece of document. And the biggest problem is how you wrote it, the content in the resume. Content in your resume is king. Content in your LinkedIn profiles is king. So how you write and what you're writing is what's going to determine if you get those interviews when you're applying to jobs online. So numbers and stats don't lie. So always keep these stats to analyze, right? Why keep using the same resume? So this individual has been using the same resume for a whole month and still didn't realize the problem was his resume. Second problem is that he's applying to 200 jobs in just 1 month. The next question I asked him was, well, did you read every single job posting line by line? And the answer was no. And I already know the answer because you applied to 200 jobs. There's no way. Okay, let's get right into, this is what sparked this segment today from conversations I had last night with individuals. So here I am, and I'm going to teach you how to create a job search strategy, the elements that need to be in your job search strategy. Okay, before we put any job search strategy, you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want? What role are you ready to move into? Okay, so write this down. Questions that you need to ask yourself before beginning a job search is, what is your dream role? What is that dream job? Okay, now don't just write job titles, because job titles mean nothing. I want you to think about what's going to make you feel fulfilled, what's going to make you jump out of bed every day and get excited to be at work or sitting at home office and working, right? You can be spending 40 hours or more working in a week, working with individuals, working with your manager and the company. So what does that role look like? So first step is actually defining what is it that you want. So soul searching, I call this process soul searching. First, you got to soul search. What is it that you really want, and write it down. Write every single detail down of what is it that you are ready to move into. Write it down. Write it down. I want to be a hotel operation manager. Okay, this is not what I want you to do. I want you to write every single thing that you want. Not, I want to be a hotel manager. That isn't me. That's a job title. But what would you be wanting to do every single day, every single second, every minute? Write down the responsibilities that you are ready to own, what type of projects you want to be working on. Really define what role you want. Don't write titles. This is where a lot of people screw up, is that they just start saying titles. I want this. I want to be a director. I want to be an operation manager. I want to be a marketing manager. Titles mean nothing. The role, the nitty-gritty of what you're going to be doing every single day, define that. Then add emotions to it. What feelings, emotions do you want to feel when you are at work? When you're performing that role, when you're performing a task, when you are solving problems? Do you want to feel like, do you do it from your heart? Do you do it from passion? What's your passion? What are you passionate about? So really define the nitty-gritty of the role you are ready to move into, okay? Without any without any doubts, okay? Don't sit there and say, you write something but like, but I don't have experience. No, I don't want you to do this exercise and then also bring in your doubts. No room for doubts. Just write down what you are ready to move into, okay? So when you know what you are ready to move into, the role you're targeting, now we can put a strategy together, because first step is you need to know what you're targeting. You can't create a resume if you don't know what you're targeting. You can't create a strategy if you don't know what you're targeting, right? So you got to define the target. Define your dream role, the manager you want to work for, and the type of companies you want to work for. Define them. Second step is, now let's go a little bit deeper into this. So you know this is the role you want. Now you got to ask yourself, why should a company hire you? Why should a manager hire you for that role that you want? Okay. And here's what you don't answer. Here's what the wrong answer will be for this question. I have the experience. I have the skills. I'm going to add value to you. Don't say it. Tell me how you will add value. Okay. Now, this is the hard questions to ask, but when you have the answers, you get clarity. Without having any clarity on what is it that you want, you can't have a successful job search strategy. So define what you want. Why should someone hire you? So your value proposition statement, what do you bring to the table? Don't tell me you bring skills. Don't tell me you bring experience. So does everybody else. But what is so unique about you that nobody else out there has? How can you make the company money? Here, I'm going to give you questions that you need to answer before you begin your job search. How do you make company money? What problems do you solve? And for who do you solve them for? Okay, you are a solution to someone's problem, but you need to define the problem, and then who has these problems is your target audience that you're targeting, okay? Now when you have all this, now you can create a resume. Now you can create a job search strategy. Okay, now you can go construct a LinkedIn profile, because it's going to speak to this target, right? It's going to really speak. It has to speak to the role you want, to the managers you want to work for the companies you want to work for. It has to speak to them, has to grab their attention. And if you're not grabbing anyone's attention, then you are not going to get results that you want in your job search. Now let's move into job search strategy. Before you put a job search strategy together, you have to understand the job search market. You have to understand the market. Now, research proves that there are two segments in the job search market. One is the visible job market, which is the job postings. Second is the non-visible job market, known as the hidden job market. Okay. Now, these two segments, what makes these two segments? Now, research further goes on to say is that only up to 20% of jobs get posted. Up to 80%, 70 to 80% of jobs that are available never get posted. Further, recruiters have openly said they don't post jobs. 90% recruiters use LinkedIn to find candidates. They use their database, they use their network to find the candidate's need, because they don't have the time to go post a job and collect resumes. Okay, so that's your stats and numbers. So when we put a job search strategy together, we're going to use the 80-20 rule. 80% of your focus should be in accessing the hidden job market. 20% of your focus should be to applying to jobs. Now, each of these segments now have to have its own strategy on how you're going to access it, okay? Now, to filter it further down, I use a 4-step process that I teach in my bootcamp program. Also, my course, I teach this, is that you need to create a job search funnel. Okay, so that's what job search strategy is. You have to create a job search funnel. Now, if you're a sales and marketing person, then you know what I'm talking about, because sales and marketing people use a sales funnel, a marketing funnel. And in that funnel is made of 4 steps. Creating awareness, so also known as lead generator, right? So if you're sales and marketing, you know what I'm talking about, creating a lead generator. So in this funnel, we have 4 elements that make this funnel up. Awareness, 2 is engage, 3 is nurture, and 4 is close. Okay, so write this down. The job search funnel, which is your job search strategy, has 4 components: awareness, engage, nurture, and close. Closing being closing those interviews and getting those job offers, okay? Now, step 1 is awareness. If nobody knows you exist, how are you going to get those job leads? Okay? Now, this funnel works for 80-20 rule, okay? So step 1 is creating awareness. How are you going to create awareness? So then remember, okay, one way to create awareness is the job postings. You can see them, right? So that's one avenue coming into that funnel, right? We got to generate leads. 2 is your LinkedIn profiles. Your LinkedIn profiles have to be set up as lead generators. They have to be search engine optimized, SEO friendly, so you're appearing in searches and people are reaching out to you. So you're creating awareness, okay? 2, creating awareness. 3 is accessing the hidden job market. Okay, in a hidden job market, there's tons of strategies on how to access the hidden job market, and you don't have to network. Network doesn't even have, if you're not good at networking, you don't need networking to access the hidden job market. Okay, so creating awareness, joining groups, joining Facebook groups, meetup.com, joining LinkedIn groups. You have to create an awareness that you exist, okay? Now, step 3 is engaging. Creating awareness that you exist is also writing your own LinkedIn content. So brand building is another way to create awareness that you exist. So there's tons of ways to create awareness that you exist. Once you start creating awareness you exist, engage. You got to engage. Okay. Now, engaging means someone's talking to you, someone's writing comments on your post, someone's DMing you and saying, hey, we have a job opportunity, right? So engagement's happening now. So engagement's going to happen. Calls are going to come in. People are going to message you on LinkedIn. You're accessing the hidden job market. So you're networking, you're working, so you're engaging. You can be also engaging by writing comments on other people's LinkedIn posts and content. You can be engaging right now, this very moment. As I'm speaking, you can be engaging in the comments and either agreeing with what I'm saying or adding your timbits to what I'm saying is another way to engage. Engage is one of the, by far, the best way to land interviews. Okay, so engage and engage. So for example, let me give you an example. When someone calls you for an interview, that's an engagement happening. Now, what you do with that engagement is another strategy. So you have to have a strategy on, okay, if someone contacts me, what's my game plan? What's my strategy to close that conversation so it converts into the next rounds of interviews or third rounds of interviews, right? So remember the interviews. So the interview stages are going to fall under the engage and nurture piece. Engagement's going to happen, plus you got to nurture those relationships. So when you are getting those conversations going, you want to also then nurture those relationships so that they convert into next steps. And then you want to then close those interviews. You have to have a closing strategy for interviews, okay? So you have to have a strategy for every little element of the job search. You have to have a strategy on how you can construct your resumes. You're going to have a strategy on how to write cover letters, how to write your LinkedIn profile, right? So I'm giving you overview of strategy. Now this strategy, those that master the strategies, land jobs in 30 days. I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been running my bootcamp program for 2 years, and I can tell you I've successfully, even in the pandemic, helped many individuals land jobs in 30 days. You just saw one individual here that said he landed a job because of me. What was his name? Right here, Ashad, I got my dream job only because of you. Thanks a lot. A well-known company hired me as a software engineer. Thanks, Gurpreet. So strategy is the key. Strategy is king. Content is king. Engagement is king. Nurturing. Okay. So now when you get those interviews, the most important piece is having a strategy to convert those interviews into job offers, right? And if you don't have a strategy, this is where people will fail. Now you have to, what strategy should you have for interviews? You need to know, first is you got to see interviews as networking opportunity. You have to change your mindset. Don't think of interviews as you're going to be grilled with questions and you just have to answer them. No, see interviews like going on a date. Okay, see them as going on a date. You're meeting somebody for the first time. When you go on a date, you're meeting someone for the first time. To start a conversation, we ask questions, right? So see interviews like going on a date. But the key is you want to convert these interviews into friendships, networking. You have an opportunity now for 20 minutes or an hour with this one person, be it by phone, be it through videos, or before COVID, it was in the office, and some places in some countries are open. You may be going in the office. So you have an opportunity to speak with this person, build a relationship with this person, build a rapport in that 20 to 60 minutes that you have them. This is where people fail. I can tell you in 15 years that I've been doing recruitment and hiring as an HR professional, those that built the relationship with me in the interview, even if we didn't hire them, I passed them on to other people in my network. It's the most under-tapped way of networking is interviews. If you go into the approach that the person I'm going to be speaking to for 20 minutes, I'm going to build a relationship with them, forget the part of you trying to convince. There shouldn't be a convincing. Other thing is, if you are a master of your craft, you will know your stuff inside out. I'm here. I have nothing prep, no piece of paper. I'm talking to you. I'm giving you strategy. I'm giving you step by step. I didn't prep before coming into this segment. I have no notes, but I'm sharing knowledge, information, because this is what I love to do. I have mastered a skill. I'm a master of my craft, be it HR, be it as a career coach, and I'm giving information and sharing and talking, and it's so natural. So the worst thing you can ever do is follow Google advice on how to ace those interviews. I'll guarantee you'll sound like a robot. And last thing you want to do is sound like a robot when you're in those interviews. Now, closing strategy for interviews is you must ask questions in the interview. I can tell you the 15 plus years that I've been hiring, it's so many people, when candidates, when I'm interviewing them and I ask them, hey, do you have any questions for me? No. You answered all my questions. Oh, I have a few questions, but they ask such generic questions. Don't ask generic questions in the interviews. You have to ask well thought out questions in the interview. Now, there's no rule that you can only ask 5 questions. Like that's the BS advice that's on Google is don't ask more than 5-6 questions. Why? Interviews are two-way street. If I asked you 10 questions, ask me 10 questions back. Or ask me 20 questions. There's no rule here. There's no rules. But what there is whatever will help you make a solid, sound decision what's best for you. Just like what the company is doing. Why the company is asking you questions is that they want to make sure that they're gonna hire the right fit, right talent into their organization that's gonna pan out for them, right? ROI, return on their investment. And you got to do the same for yourself. You don't want to end up working for a toxic manager. You don't want to end up working for a toxic company. You just don't. And last thing is, you don't want to be in a role that you're not happy in. But all these things will happen if you don't invest the time in asking questions. Now, when you ask questions in the interview, smart, strategic questions that will help you make a solid decision, it showcases your decision-making skills. You will blow the manager away. You will blow HR away. You will blow the hiring manager decision makers away when you ask strategic, thought out questions, because it will show them how you make decisions, that you are invested in your career. You're not just looking for a job. You're invested in yourself, you're invested in your career, and you want to make the right decision for yourself. When candidates do that, automatically, boom, you're in the top rank for candidates. Okay, now last step, when you ask questions after the interview, you should create a pitch deck, interview pitch deck. I call it a pitch deck. Once you go, instead of sending a thank you emails that are so generic, you can now create pitch decks. You can create one for HR where you kind of just give a summary of who you are, what you bring to the table, why they should hire you. A second pitch deck, if you make it to the rounds of interview where you get to make, where you're meeting with the hiring manager, you should make pain point pitch deck. So in the interview, one of the questions you should be asking is, in the interview is all about fact-finding information, right? So then you can make a pain point pitch deck, which will automatically give you another competitive advantage if you do this. My clients that work with me, I teach them these two pitch deck strategy. Plus, I give them a whole list of questions they should be asking. And guess what? That's how my clients are landing jobs, being in the dream roles and earning up to 200% more in salaries. If you want to make more money in your career, you have to start becoming strategic. Don't seek for jobs. Don't be a job seeker. Instead, be a solution provider, but know what you bring, know your dollar value, know how much you are worth, and then you got to position yourself to that. Okay, I hope this has helped you guys. Let me know if what I have said so far makes sense. Drop those comments. Has this been helpful to you? Now, if you need more resources, I have a membership that I created that has unlimited video segments of different workshops that I've created in the membership program, where you can, master all these things that I'm talking about, how to create a job search strategy, how to access the hidden job market. So there's over 60, 100, I think almost 100 videos in my membership that I launched about a few months ago. It's just $20 a month. It's super affordable. I created it because every day I get people messaging me, and I truly want to help as many people as I can. So that's the best way, is for me to create this. I created this membership, just $20, and it comes with tons of valuable bite-sized workshops that will help you in your career, but also in your career, in your job search, as well as in your career journey. Those that have taken my membership, the turnaround, people have landed jobs even less than 6 weeks, and stayed in the membership because we have guest speakers come in from different industries, talking about different industries to really help people grow and become successful. Also, it's the best way to network, is building those networking opportunities within the membership. So I've dropped that link, and you can sign up for the membership. It's just $20. Super affordable, super affordable. Don't leave this segment and still be struggling in your job search. You can be in your dream job less than 6 weeks. Okay, so let's go. Okay, now I'm open to Q&A. Let me know what questions you have. Type them below in the comment section, and I will be happy to answer any question. I'm gonna also switch it up. If you want to hop on this live call with me and talk to me directly, you can do that too. I'm gonna drop the link. I like talking to people. So you can hop on live call with me by this link. Okay, so I dropped the link. If you want to hop on this live call with me and speak directly to me, happy to troubleshoot any problems you may be having. But if you don't want to hop on the live, you don't have to. I'm just opening the channels up so people can speak with me and we can engage and talk. It's the best way to build relationships. So remember the funnel: engage and nurture. So engage, but you got to nurture those relationships, those engagements. So this is the best way to do it, is you can hop on the live with me and speak to me directly. Okay, so if you have questions, please type them below and I am more than happy to answer them. Okay, it's been more than 2 months, difficult to survive now. I don't want to tell you, but I have to. My father expired on April. Things are in bad shape. I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. I've also lost my father a few years ago, so I know the pain too well. I applied to almost 80 to 90 jobs. Okay, so here's what happens online. I think actually I don't know anything about India, to be honest. I don't know the job market in India. I don't know how companies recruit. But one of the best ways, to be honest, to land a job nowadays is LinkedIn. Get super active, create awareness that you exist, have people know about you, create your own brand on LinkedIn, have people message you directly into your inbox, right? Also, what is it that you want? You want to also here, I'm going to give some further tips and advice that I gave yesterday on the segment on my Zoom call. Is you want to be seen as a master of your craft. And one of the best ways to do that is you got to be developing yourself every single day, professionally and personally. Listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube channels, LinkedIn, looking at the different posts that people in your industry are talking about, attending webinars, and a lot of the stuff is free. I attend tons of webinars. I listen to tons of podcasts. Used to, not too much now, but I get so much information. I know everything. I can't say I know everything, but I'm always up to date on what's happening in my industry, my segments, who my clients, what my targets. So you need to know what's happening in order to be the master in your craft, right? And when you are master of your craft, people will want you. People will want you. Now, you can't. I understand people's circumstances are different, but the last thing you want to do is be desperate to want a job. Don't be desperate. You can create the demand for yourself. Everyone should be doing is creating a demand for themselves. For themselves. And when you create a demand for yourself, guess what? You can charge more money. Is it a good option to join agency for job search? You should. Okay, so another best way to create awareness. So remember that funnel that I taught you guys, the 4 steps in the funnel is create awareness you exist. One avenue of creating awareness that you exist is partnering up with recruitment agencies. So yes, it should be part of your job search strategy. I have an interview tomorrow. I'll be using your tips. Thank you for your valuable insight. So good luck, Henry, on your interview tomorrow. Now, interviews, you got to have a prepping strategy. Okay. I probably missed some strategy points. Interview. You will have to have a strategy on how to prep before the interview, a strategy on what you're going to do in the interview. You should have a strategy for icebreaker. You should have a strategy on how you're going to build a relationship with the person in front of you. You should have a strategy on how you're going to answer those questions. And no, STAR method is not, you can't just answer all questions using STAR method. Okay, my 4 steps process in the interview is when the interview question is being asked, do the following 4 things. Listen, process what's being asked, don't understand, ask for clarification, formulate. So formulate the answer in your head first, and then deliver the answer. Okay, only answer what's being asked. Too many people talk too much in the interview, and I can tell you I have 15 plus years of experience sitting on the other side of the table from candidates. Interview questions are asked, and the candidate just starts rambling on. Also, don't be so quick to answer an interview question. Hence, I said take the 4 steps. Process, listen, process, formulate, and then deliver. Okay, when you do these 4 steps, you would 90% of the time will be answering the interview question. Second, when I ask the candidate a question, boom, they go straight into answering. I already know they're gonna not answer the question. I call it they're gonna fuck up. They're gonna screw up. They're gonna end up talking so much but not answer the question. Now, the interviewer is not gonna tell you that you didn't answer the question. So I'm not gonna, let's say I'm interviewing you, I'm not gonna tell you that you didn't answer my question. What I'm gonna write down on my notes is didn't answer the question. Another great strategy is that you have to turn those interviews into conversations. So look how I'm talking to you guys. My hands are moving, my voice goes up and down. And that's human nature. That's how we talk. So you also want to be able to showcase your personality in the interview. You got to be you. If you're like someone like me who moves their hands a lot when they talk, because I do. Even going out for dinner, oh my God, my friends always have to be like, hey, yo, put the knife down. My cousins, I put the knife down. Yeah, going on a date with me also would be me talking and my knife is going one way, my fork is going another way, and I'm talking. It was like, can you put the fork down or knife down? But that's just me, right? Like, you can't change who you are. You still want to showcase your personality. Don't try to be somebody you're not in the interview. Don't try to be a robot. Don't answer the question with first, thank you for asking me a question. Why are you thanking them for asking you a question? Why? Because Google told you to do it? That stuff is all robotic and boring, and you're not fooling anybody when you're doing that. So don't do those things. Be yourself. Turn those interview questions into conversations. When you're answering the question, make sure that you're engaging the person that's listening to your answer. You got to involve them. You got to engage them into your answer so that they will have a follow-up question to ask and the conversation starts happening organically. Okay, so I hope that helps. Anybody else has any questions? If you want to speak to me directly, also, if you're liking this segment, please show some love. Also, write a comment. As I said, introduce yourself if you haven't already. What are you struggling with? Let me know. What job opportunities are you looking for? What seems to be the obstacle or challenge in your job search into you landing those dream jobs? Let me know. Type it below if you have any questions. I'll stick around for 5 more minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to end this segment because it's 4:08 and I got to go work out at 4:30. So only a few more minutes. I'm going to stick around to see if anybody has questions. Okay, looks like nobody has any questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this segment has helped you guys in any way. Feel free to reach out to me and let me know personally how this segment has helped you. Message me directly on LinkedIn and let me know if this segment has helped you in any way, form, and shape. Please feel free to reach out to me. I wish you guys all the best and good luck with your job searches. Bye for now.